group stages is weak side
ロー
top,
グにちは
strong side bot.
DRX
And
vs
teams
ロ
have
ーグ
started to figure that
1
out.
位の
Ornn,
タイブレイ
Maokai,
ク
they have been
トッ
permabanned
ピ
and they are
ー
not
スポー
afraid
ツに
of this
今
Nav.
日どっちもボコられてしまいました。 その中でローグ対 DRX の1位決定戦。トップ e スポーツは今日ギガバイトマネーズ相手負けちゃったからね。DRX とローグボコったのに泳いで帰ります。DRX がブルーサイド。ローグはハイマーにやられたし、エートロックスもバンしていく。ヨーロッパ2周目、今のところ1勝8敗。タイブレーク合わせて負けたら1勝9敗。ノースアメリカの最初のウィークの0-9に並びます。まあ、1勝9敗だけど。9敗 NA と一緒にできるか。
So obviously, not a huge sample size there, but Rogue could tie it up if they are able to take them down.
結局ヨーロッパが最初の週のメタの読みが良かったのかね、結局。ウィーク2はボッコボコにされてるから。データ見た感じ、アジール取ってて、ヨーロッパは6勝2敗。アジール取れなかった場合は2勝6敗とか、そんな感じだったので。アジールを取ると勝つけど、取れなかったら大体負ける。
To say what direction they'll take. They could do a Jinx Lulu answer.
Yeah.
If they want to try and match range for range.
What about Ezreal?
ケイトに対してエズリアル。はい、おしまい。
If you're gonna go Ezreal, I'm expecting it to be
ケイトに対してエズリアルだと。
You can go something like Ezreal Karma. If you want to play heavily for the lane,
エズリアルカルマ
that is your other option. So they're actually going for this. So
であれば戦えるかも。
when I first saw the Ezreal coming through, I was thinking it was just gonna be Tribute
エズリアル
playing like
バー
Pawn
ドと
or
かいう
whatever,
バカ
roam
みたい
the
なピッ
map
クだっ
and
たら
just
終
say,
わ
all
って
right,
た
we're
け
gonna get stuff done elsewhere. But this is playing for the
エズ
2v2.
カルマ
When
ね。
you go Karma, you likely are gonna go
カルマで
Comet,
プッ
you're
シュ
gonna go
力
Scorch, you're gonna go heavy for
つけ
that
て
poke here.
ケイトリンを
And
逆
that's
に
really
ター
just
シャ
down
に
to
釘付け
execution.
にすれ
How
ば
much
勝
of
て
that
る。
poke can you land?
押し
Because
込まれたら
Ezreal
負ける。
Karma can be unstoppable, can be so oppressive, or it
エ
can
ズ
be
リアル
useless.
カルマに
It's
対して
really
何
down
の
how
サポ
many
ート
skill
取る。
sets you're gonna
結
hit.
局
So
ラ
we
ック
talked
ス。
about it earlier when I think of comp, there are certain champions that do resonate with him, and Ezreal is actually one of his comfort. It's one of his most played throughout his entire career in the LEC. So Rogue have tried to go a little bit more towards comfort while also giving themselves a powerful 2 versus 2. A lot of range on this bot side of the map. Often the ants, and again, remember earlier I was saying that in Europe, the way they answer Caitlyn Soraka is by cross-mapping. Instead, they invest in the top side and they'll go for these more range matchups, whereas in the East, they'll hit you with the all-in, attack your level 1, attack your level 2, and you're already seeing that slight contrast here.
Yeah, so bot lane's match, mid lane's match here. Zeka goes for the blind Sylas. And we see on the other side, they're not willing to actually wait for another round to actually allow this to be protected by Ban. So Lucian just snaps down that LeBlanc. Engage is going to become very high priority here. I do think it's really important to be able to get to that back line, to be able to have lockdown when you're playing against LeBlanc, when you're playing against that Ezreal. But likewise, when you're going in against something long range like the Caitlyn and the Lux, so something even like Vi, I do think really starts to skyrocket in priority. I'm going to be interested to see if Malrang's just going to go to tried and true like a J4, or if he'd be willing to pivot here a little bit.
Well, they are already targeting some of the remaining Engage at the top of the tier lists here. The Sejuani, not quite on the same level of big team fight ulti Engage there. Just single target compared to like an Ornn or a Maokai that have already been banned, but she's still a big meatball. She's still scary. She has a lot of lockdown. She's banned away. Renekton taken off the table by DRX. So what is the second ban going to be for Rogue? Is it more of that Engage? Is it more of these champions that are going to fill that niche that neither side has locked in a lot?
Again, more focus going towards Odoamne. They would be the team to ban away the Ken because this was actually one of his go-to champions. Like
マーランずっと J4 やってたけど J4 がバンされた。 B シン美しかったけどね。B シンルブランのコンボはあるけど。
Nah, though. I feel like that right now it makes the most sense to lock in their jungle pick.
There's no shot it's Rumble. They would be way too AP heavy. I think this is an absolute grief if they lock Rumble. It has to be Gnar. As soon as I saw
Oh my god, what the
when you push them this far in the champion pool. To me, it feels like
ジャング
they
ル取
start
ら
seeing
せ
all
て
this pinch
トッ
up
プカウン
towards
ター
top
すれば
lane.
よく
All
な
of
い
the tanks are banned out.
なあやんの
Renekton's banned out. Aatrox is banned out. Everything is being taken off the table. So to me, the Kennen ban tip the hat that is going to be Gnar, but that does show a little bit of a champion pool issue here. You feel like you can't actually pick your jungle, so you're giving counter pick over to Kingen.
I was just about to say, I think Camille is going to come out from DRX, and then he instantly locks it in. It's something that he's very comfortable on as well, and it's a winning matchup, but what makes Camille very good is the amount of mobility on the side of Rogue. Israel, how do you lock him down? Camille ultimate. LeBlanc, how do you lock him down? Camille ultimate. You pair that up with a Vi as well. You have so much single target lockdown to make it easier for the Caitlyn, the Lux, the Sylas to be able to commit onto these very mobile champs.
Absolutely, Vi was going to really rise in priority here, and that's why I was thinking, the better draft would have been Rogue take Vi on 4 and counterpick on 5. Right. But I think they're really concerned that the champion pool is getting too pinched. They wanted to have comfort for Odo, so they have to blind. And when you're on red side and you're blinding your top laner there in 4-5, that really does put you at a disadvantage. But we'll see if they can play their way out of this hole. I do think they've drafted themselves into a little bit of a hole here. We'll see if their superior play can really make the difference.
The big, I mean, I would say the main right side for Rogue is this LeBlanc, Lee Sin, mid-jungle, and then you have while Rogue is not typically known for their mid-jungle synergy, we're going to have to be seeing it today, because when you draft a mid-jungle like this, it's all about heavy mid-ganks, using that pressure to roam towards sides, and looking to try and get advantages elsewhere on the map. But the one thing you cannot deny about DRX
between advancing the semifinals or not, potentially, based on the tougher opponent. You know how important it is, and sometimes people will turtle up and play passive. Other people will step up, get aggressive, and be the difference maker for their team.
And it's great that you mentioned that as well, because back in 2016, we were in North America, and it was Edward Gaming versus H2K. It was a tiebreaker to determine who would get first in that group. And back then, it was Odo Amne top lane, and it was Deft on AD carry for EG. And it was Odo Amne that was able to get the edge over his counterpart. What happened? H2K got first seed, they got Albus Nox Luna in the quarterfinals, they won 3-0 and made it to semis. Like, that first seed can make such a massive difference in terms of your qualification. That can really shift the perception about who's a player, who's an organization, and your region if just qualifying to semis compared to a quarterfinals.
Well, and I'd just say, ending the group stage here on a win would do a lot to build confidence in Rogue for European fans, right? Because let's be honest, this has been a very rough week. It is 1-8 right now for Europe in week 2. If you end this on a loss with your only win being that over GAM, people are going to have a lot of doubts about how they're going to be able to perform in that quarterfinal, especially given that they would have a very tough first seed from another group. But if you get this win, if you show that you can bounce back after what has been a tough day for Rogue so far, you really restore that faith. You get an easier matchup, and then who knows, the sky's the limit.
Alrighty, well, everybody is in their lane. The minions have collided. Junglers are starting off on their respective blue buffs. We expect them to be pathing in opposite directions here early on.
ローグとしてはやっぱエズリアル・カラマが押し勝ってカラフしてルブラン・リーシンが一緒にボトム行ってダイブするまたはウェーブをロストさせるそうすると勝てるだからローが本当ボトムのウェーブが重要です
The downside here is you're not playing cleanse, you're not playing heal. So if you do actually get
エ
hit
ズ
by
リ
a
アル
binding
は
or if you
テ
do
レポー
get
トですか
ganked in these kind of combat situations, yeah, you're very likely
序
just
盤
going
や
to
っぱ
get
きつい
locked
からっ
down,
てことか
trapped
な
up afterwards. So it is kind of a
ワン
little
バ
bit
ッ
of
クして
risk
か
versus
ら有
reward
利を
here.
取る
But if Rogue can land their
まず序盤は
poke,
ティア
can
スタート
maintain an aggressive position here, that TP is so valuable for the resets.
And you saw a little bit there of what Caitlyn and Lux like
押し
to
勝
do.
ってテレポート使えたらとても強いけどね押し負けてからテレポート使うと結局相手もアイテムを購入して帰ってくるのでヒールとテレポートの差が出ちゃう
But Malrang is immediately there. His counterattack forces the
サイラ
flash
スが気を見つけてレベル3先行したから入っていったけどリーシンがそばにいました
Well, hang on a second. This guy looks like he's about to get level 3. Let's just hover here just in case. And they're able to get the flash out from Zeka. We also see, ooh, a pretty even trade as Kingen will take that top lane tower shot. But overall, DRX off to a pretty good start in the other game.
Yeah, and I think Zeka's read. Oh, the trap.
これはでかいヒットだ
Trimby walking away. He will not die to the ignite. It's not strong enough to finish off
フラッシュオート一発ダメだった
Yeah,
か
but he only has that one potion running,
ギ
and
リギ
that
リ
is
だっ
going
た
to be
ね
really tough for him to actually
エズ
stay
リアルが
around
ヒ
here.
ールがないのでね
Bioshek also
これ
heading
気をつけな
down
きゃいけないです
towards
よ
bot, is on the Crux right now. I don't know that he'll look for any sort of a dive. They may just want to take a reset off of this. As Trimby has healed up quite a lot, but yeah, I think that Zeka's read was that Malrang starting bot, he would be up towards the red buff and stuff, so he was safe to kind of move forward and get aggressive there. But of course, Malrang just was around in mid, and is able to punish. No smite on either jungler, but they don't necessarily know that the other one doesn't have it. So it's going to be a fight here. One level advantage for Pyosik.
同じレベルだったらリーシに勝てないだろうけど、レベル先行してるからね。
Snot out of him. Malrang has to try to get away with that safeguard over the wall. He'll survive, but it's control over the bot side river, control over the scuttle crab for Pyosik.
バイはフルクリアなんだ。珍しい。
difference in that 1v1 matchup. The level 4 to level 3 really was the decider as DRX bot lane continue to apply pressure, but credit to Comp. He will stay even in farm for now. They have their eyes on Kingen here. That's big.
He already
used his hook shot. Odoamne still trying to get away. Kingen, I don't think there's a whole lot of ways out of this one unless you pull off something wild. Not happening. First blood over the road.
And that's a big blood for Kingen. His wave is in an awkward spot and he is trying to push it underneath the tower, but he committed all of his skills to trading onto Odoamne. And the second that he did that, Rogue saw a window to punish. He should have known though that Malrang was going to go to the top crab. The bot lane jungle can't, there was too much information there, but he should have been able to read that play.
But this is Malrang kind of at his best, right? You know, when Rogue were really rolling in playoffs, it was often about Malrang affecting these lanes, getting them ahead, you know, snowballing advantages through those lanes. He's already been mid, forced to flash off Zeka. Now he gets towards top, gets the first blood there for Odo. And it's a good early start here with a 500 gold lead for Rogue. So they're going to be feeling pretty damn good about their spot here, only 4.5 in.
Yeah, we kind of look across the CS discrepancies and it's pretty even across the board, really. Arguably, you could be a little bit skeptical in the LeBlanc versus Sylas matchup. You would want to see that LeBlanc building a little bit more of a lead. But the question is, the moment that C9, they got me.
The crowd absolutely boomed.
They did just boom me. They did, yeah. I was gonna say the moment that LeBlanc gets level 6 is when we may very well see a little bit more mid-investment from the side of Rogue.
That's when Jensen's really gonna spike.
Stop it! Yeah,
Isaac, you're gonna get in his head too. First the crowd,
he's
now you.
Mutas are whispering in his ears. Yeah, I mean, we'll see exactly what they can get done. You know, I want to see them return as well to mid, try to punish this missing flash here.
All right, update on the pause. I have been informed that Trymbi has a mouse issue, and the officials are investigating that right now. So hopefully we can get that resolved, get ourselves back into the game ASAP. Still not even 5 minutes in. Vedius, you already tagged. It's a nice little gold lead here for Rogue, thanks to the fact that they got that first blood. And you got to love the fact that they got it on the Gnar too, right? Giving Odoamne that extra gold, allowing the Gnar to be in charge here in the side lane, especially going back to the context we had in draft that you guys were talking about where, yeah, you picked him blind. They got to counterpick him with Camille, making sure he's a little better off than what standard fare would be is going to protect him a little bit more.
It's actually really, really important in these types of matchups in particular when you are playing ranged into melee. You know, if you're ahead on the Gnar and the Camille can't threaten it all in, Camille doesn't really have any recourse in the matchup. That's where it starts to get really, really bad, where you're just having to take that poke. Because the way that Camille trades is by going aggressive, is by actually hookshotting in and looking for these aggressive moves. So if you can put Odo in a commanding position, he's going to be looking a lot better. You can see this is just that previous scrap here early on. You know, Pyosik pushing out Malrang, and then Malrang looking for this this path up towards Scuttle, takes the Scuttle, gets the heal here. Yeah. And as you said, Betty, you know, they did know that he was going to be heading up towards that top side, so Kingen very greedy to try to reset the wave.
Well, that's the thing. From my perspective, it's a tough one to say who's at blame, because you could argue that, like, oh, Pyosik should be communicating. Jungler's gonna go to top crab. I just beat him on bot crab. Like because like when you look at the meme, the Gromp was respawning as well. So he's clearly gonna go for my Gromp. He's gonna take all those camps are gone. So you have to be really careful. But also from Kingen's perspective, he's like, well, my wave is in a really bad spot. I need to push this in, and otherwise I'm gonna be screwed if I try to reset and then TP back in and then they gank me. So. I appreciate that for Kingen, it was never really an easy situation to play out. So I'm willing to give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt. At the end of the day, Rogue will find themselves the first kill, and it's only a small impact for Rogue.
I agree with you. You know, it is a tough situation as a top laner, but at the end of the day, in those situations, you often just have to take the L, give up a few minions, TP back, call up your jungler, help him to get you that reset. Yeah. But, you know, goes for the riskier play here, does get punished, and as a result, it is a slight lead for Rogue. Bot lane has been very even overall. You know, we saw Trymbi get very, very low, but had the potions still in the inventory to really be able to heal it back up.
Yep.
エズリアルがまだテレポートを使ってないぞ。もうマナがなさそうなのでそろそろテレポート使うかね。押し込まれてから使っちゃうと微妙なんだけどしゃあないか。
But Trimby and Comp will just continue farming these up. Comp is very low on mana right now.
カミールが結構強引にウルトでソロレーンとかを捕まえに来るときにエズリアルがテレポートでそれを救うっていうこともできるから、それも考慮してのテレポートなのかな。
Ballbreaker charging up and Pyosik just turns it right back around on a Malrang who lands his Sonic Wave but will not take the Q. His mind's telling him no and his body's telling him no.
Executioner calling 人気だ
cheating
ね。
down toward that bottom side as well would have been a really risky move to go. You can see Odo much better buy as a result.
ローグの構成相手にケミパンク初手で行くんだ。BC は確かに回復はするけど、それ以外回復しないよな。
I like the early recall there from Deft. You don't want to get trapped too heavily in these lanes against TP bot laners. You need to take the early recalls when that opportunity presents itself. Because if you stick around too long and you get pushed in and they're able to actually go back to base, TP back, they can sometimes keep you really locked under your tower. So a good timing on the reset from Deft, not really going to lose much of anything. And Pyosik again hanging around on this bottom side. They have spotted Malrang as well as Trimby.
And remember, both these junglers are level 5, soon to be 6, and for Vi especially, it makes it so easy to just point and click, go in, make these plays happen. Panning back up in the top side here, you can see Kingen trying to fight back against Odoamne, but the power of the range continuing to be the advantage for the Gnar, like what you talked about, Isaac.
And it's kind of that move speed diff, right? Because a lot of where Gnar actually wins the trades is on the back end of the trade. Camille hookshots forward, gets the Q3, has the passive up, and then it's really nice slow binding.
Not quite
enough to get the kill. The net
ネットが入らなかったからキルは取れなかったね。
And Beryl didn't use the ignite. If Beryl actually got the ignite down on Comp, you have to think he's back to base at the very least. But does hold on to it. And now Malrang again down here covering the lanes.
ブラックスの Q を食らうと
Just a little bit of trading here in the mid lane as well. As you can see, Larson half HP, but he's all right. Has his lost chapter. The buy from Zeka wasn't quite good enough to be able to get himself a lost chapter earlier as well. But down here in bottom lane, it's Trimby and Comp still just stuck underneath this turret. This is the reality of so many matchups into Caitlyn and Lux. This is where Caitlyn and Lux want to be a very different look compared to the game where we saw this go up against the Draven and the Blitzcrank that just demolished it. And okay, what do you got?
Look at this. Okay, so they pinged out the ward. He knows the ward's in the side brush. So Pyosik is wrapping around it. They tracked where Odoamne dropped the ward. They're going to look for the all-in on the mini Gnar.
あれ刺さんないでしょ。
Where are we going? No, we're not. Here we go, right back into the river.
Walk in a lane, look at him. Odoamne's like, hello. Pyosik says, hello. And then both will part ways. I think one of the scariest things is that they don't have full information as to where Malrang is right now. You can see Pink trying to come down onto the Raptors because they believe that he might be there. Larson needs to go back to base. This is a very big window for TRX to try and force something, but Odoamne gets a good trade at top. So now he's going to clear out this wave, and Rogue is going to say, we're probably strong enough to contest this Herald, and I feel like that they know that it's going on. Malrang has information, he's going to come over the wall, here we go.
Larson's not here though, and Kingen has TP, so this would be a very risky contest.
TP を待つしかないな。でもルブランもテレポートはないけど復帰は早い。
DRX playing this very, very patiently. One more eyeball proc. There it is. Punch it, pick up the eye. DRX, get it, and get out.
And I gotta give credit to Odo because he never had vision on the Vi who was looking for that wraparound gank. But he's playing far enough back in the lane. He had the read that he could be in danger there. Yeah. Kind of inferred that it could be happening. And just based on the fact that, as you said, they don't know where Malrang is, Vetty, and he's pretty far back to the tower, so he could still hop and flash towards that tower. Even if you go for that ulti on Vi, if you get pulled into the turret, you're gonna be in trouble.
Eyes as well on what the junglers are up to. As Pyosik is now pathing towards the bot side of the map. With the reset coming in from Comp and Trimby. This could be a window for Pyosik to actually path towards the bot Dragon, which obviously you can see Rogue now understand that there's a window where they can move into the topside jungle. So pings are coming down. They're trying to figure out if the topside blue buff is up secured. Maybe they can threaten a dive. Odoamne has just gone into Mega Gnar, so that window likely going to be unavailable as he can't stack that up on the next wave, which is largely when they look to send that.
Malrang is here. It's more of just a defensive option, making sure Odoamne can get this wave crashed in safely. Kingen jumps in after him there, finds some decent damage. Kingen flashing back out before Malrang Kingen is able to find a good kick angle, but he flashes in and gets it anyway.
うまい。カミールがウルト打つのを待ってる。
when Malrang is lying in wait, and that's going to be another kill over to Rogue. Meanwhile, bottom side, the Herald is dropped with only 2 plates remaining. So first turret goes over to DRX.
Yeah, it's big, trying to get Deft ahead here, trying to accelerate him, and they want to walk this in. They want to get that second charge here. That is why Pyosik is actually posturing so aggressively. We'll see if they can actually do it. Not going to be able to, it looks like, because it's getting very low.
Yep, there it went, popped.
But this is exactly how you want to be playing Caitlyn lanes. Basically, you push, get Herald, secure a tower, and then you move your Caitlyn everywhere. They can now swap their Caitlyn to mid, they can move their Caitlyn to top, and you just leverage her strong siege and basically inability to shut her down to secure as many early game advantages as possible. This is often why many teams, like the LPL and the LCK, would draft like Leona, they would draft Blitzcrank, because the only way that you can stop this ranged matchup is to be able to engage and shut it down.
And this is just, again, great timing here from Malrang. He's in the right place, right time. Looks for the kick flash, catches up, the slowdown from the boomerang there. Able to give another kill over to Odo. Excuse me, an assist there, has the 1 kill prior, but did pick up plates. And he's already on his Triforce. Look at Kingen, he's so far away from the Mythic, so Malrang really has been the difference maker in this one.
And talking about Mythics, when that turret was taken bottom, it was Deft getting the money. Kingen's in trouble. They just pop him, they drop him. It's Orawam, they grab the kill. But now, what else is going to happen? DRX,
double kill.
They strike right back. They get 2.
We'll see if they continue now. Larson going to be pushed back here. DRX was in position to go for this nice sidestep from Larson, though. Will get out safety or will it?
Both got binded. Nicely done, but the follow-up isn't there from anybody else, so Larson gets away. It was a nice explosion onto Kingen to start it off, but DRX was ready to hit right back.
Really, it was a mid-diff. Like, Larson went over the wall and then left, whereas Zeka went over the wall and committed. He was full-on committed to this team fight, and he is the reason why DRX walk away with 2 kills. Now DRX find themselves with the gold lead, even though Rogue leading kills.
Now this will buy a little bit of time here, you know, for Kingen to go down towards bot, try to collect some farm.
Rogue のパーファイトは譲りやるが無駄が出る頃かな。
Onto Deft. Will land the ulti back onto comp, but Deft is going to be set back to base here. He's getting very low and can't really afford to continue staying around.
Yeah, they're going to try to interrupt his back if they can. You can see both Comp and Trimby stepping up, but they can't go any closer to the turret. Deft made sure we got back far enough. Malrang hanging around to see if maybe there's a blue buff to be taken away. Q timing is just a little bit slow there. Barrel underneath the turret by himself. Immediately clears the wave. Rogue wants to move up, but I don't know how well that's going to work. Trimby is burned. Larson's ready to follow it back up. So it's an 1-for-1 trade. Zeka finds Larson here in the river, but it's pretty easy for LeBlanc to be able to get away. Malrang safeguarding right back over the wall and kicking Zeka back where he came from.
Malrang plays that well, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 overall. I think securing that kill into the jungler, though, they're quite happy to give up Trimby in that exchange, but Zeka once more.
Nice flash.
Not quite, and Comp barely gets away.
Oh my god, I can't believe Comp reacted to that. He was definitely not browsing the shop. He was hyper-focused, and the reaction speed needed to get away with his life there. Good play from Zeka, but a better one from Comp.
Yeah, it is the trade of flashes at the end of the day, but that delayed base. The problem here is that DRX has way more tempo. They're getting a lot done. You look at the map. Top lane has to be answered by LeBlanc, so what happens mid? Up goes the Sylas. He pushes that in, so you're losing plates on both sides. They knew that with this late recall that then got stopped from Comp. Deft would take so many plates if you didn't go up the answer, so Larson covers, but it means they're going to fall behind across the map.
Oh man, Deft going in there trying to use the ace in the hole plus Gale Force execution combo to maybe get a cheeky kill onto Larson, but it will not work. Meanwhile, back in mid, Pyosik said, hey man, I heard you don't have a flash, and Zeka gets a killing spree.
That was actually beautiful. Zeka taxing to the creeps with his E, landing the Everfrost through the creeps onto Comp there, locking him down, and again, not playing with that cleanse, not playing with that heal. The TP very useful, but in some of these situations, it does feel like he's maybe hurting for not having that combat summoner.
A very clean early game overall from DRX, the way they've moved around the map, the advantages that they've been able to secure. They're setting up for this Drake. A bit of a late first Drake overall, but let's have a look back at this play.
前ブリンクしちゃったんだ、1ミニオン食うために。Oh my god.
Yeah.
You highlighted it. He used the E onto the minion to help close the gap. Locked him down with the Everfrost. The chain CC was perfect. But this is something that Rogue is going to have to deal with later on. We talked about the single target lockdown that exists for DRX, and it's only going to get more and more dangerous as the game progresses.
And that's one of those things where it's honestly just a mental error, right? Like, you're using that E to get, what, 1 minion, right? You know,
get to lane faster even. Like,
yeah, it's just one of those situations where it's just not going to be worth it, right? But it is something that's very easy to do, where you just want to use your gap closer, you get back in, but DRX punish immediately off that one thing. If he just walked up, he would have the E to get back to the tower, it would be no problem.
It's pretty much the opposite of what you were talking about with the reaction time topside, where he used the flash to escape the death of the Sylas. There, he's completely focused, he's completely aware of the state of things around him. Here in mid lane, that lapse for a second ends up costing him with the E being down, and DRX have a 3-man push here in mid, trying to take down this tier 1 turret.
相手はブリッツとかパイクとかそういう系をやらないとダメなんじゃねえかね。他のエンチャンターたちじゃ歯が立たねえな。今大会はあんまケイトリンが仕事できてなかったんだけど、特系のキャラとかに潰されたりとかして。エズリアルからもずっとタワー失って。
Still something working well though for Rogue, as Odo is quite a bit ahead, you know, does have the
エ
tier
ズリアル
2
村マナはコンプリート。
on
初
top
手
of what
村
his
マナ
opponent
だから
has
早
now
いな。
matched
16
now in Mythics, but Odo going to be feeling good in that 1v1, and if they could get him some vision, he can threaten this tier 1 tower. I think that Rogue is aware that they are up on this hero, so we'll see if Odo can get some pressure down on that bottom side.
サイラス見えているにもかかわらずナーをピックしましたよ。
Oh boy, Odoamne
Nah, no,
getting
Uruto
stuck
da
in
yo.
the Hextech ultimatum.
Lugran
Zeka
Uruto
showing up
motte
with a stolen LeBlanc ultimate. Odo throwing out the Mega Gnar, looking to take one with him, but he goes alone. And Zeka gets his 4th kill of the game.
That one hurts for Odo, so close to being able to get that kill in the 1v2, but the lane ward that was dropped, making all the difference is Zeka on that TP flank, and now tier 2 mid has been cracked. The Herald's going to get a charge on the tier 3. Larson's not even here, they can continue the siege.
Yep, Malrang's at the chickens. Larson's in top lane. Odoamne's 6 feet beneath the ground. That tier 3 turret took a beating there as DRX built their lead up to almost 3,000. Kingen now sent back into the top side to deal with that. And boys, it took 17 minutes, but we will finally see the first Drake of the game go down. It's DRX looking to take it.
It's hard not to feel like it's just a mid-diff right now when you compare the amount that Zeka has been roaming around the map compared to what we've been seeing from Larson. It always feels like the Larson is second to the play. He's not been able to find any real opportunities. He's kind of sitting in the fog wall, looking for a pick, but immediately he's going to disengage because he realizes the collapse is very real. Between 2 soul laners right now.
Oh boy, Larson getting away for now, but Kingen goes over the wall to follow him. Odoamne's waiting to back up his mid laner, but DRX has backup too. With both sides not having full information, everybody just goes home.
Yeah, and especially once that Gnar ultimate is stolen, you've got to be so careful about that Sylas stealing the Gnar ult. It does incredible amounts of damage, and I mean, 17 minutes in, we're now at 18, but 17 minutes into the game, Zeka completed his 2nd item, right? He's on 2 items, has 8 stacks on that. We'll see if he wants to upgrade to a book, but Dark Seal giving him a lot of extra power, and we've seen how good Zeka is on these melee AP carries. Has been a monster and has all of his playmaking kit ready to go with the Zhonya's and Everfrost.
I just love what we've been seeing from Pyosik as well, as he continues to attack these side lanes, constantly looking for picks. Larson though with the double chains. This is killable here.
Kingen flash, hook shot away. Larson cannot quite chase it down. Kingen is getting focused and beat up this game. That's sort of a bit of a silver lining here for Rogue, going up against what DRX has built. Odoamne dead for 25 seconds, and the top lane tier 1 falls. DRX continue pushing forward.
And something a little bit interesting here, Larson actually going for the Liandry's build, right? You know, this is a bit of more CDR with the Mythic passive. It is a bit higher DPS in these extended fights, but he's not going for a flat pen build against a team that is very, very squishy. So I must say I'm pretty surprised that he didn't go Luden's Shadowflame, you know, Spell Pen Trifecta, but now he's going to be looking for Deft.
Deft getting away though, using the Gale Force, the extra power of the active to get out of the range of the chain so he doesn't get locked down.
So we're starting to see Larson be a little bit more active on the map, which is definitely what we needed to see.
And now we see
this gank up towards the top side of the map, and just this repeated attack on the side lanes is just, it's so clean from DRX. Pyosik, he has his ultimate and he knows that if he works with Kingen or he works with Zeka, it's very easy for them to get kills. And this is what we talked about, this single target lockdown. I was more worried about it later on into the fights, but Rogue don't get to leverage their mobility, and once again they find themselves in a position where they're just losing the game. Earlier on when they played against DRX, they watched the map fall apart around them, and now the same thing is happening where Pyosik is just getting the better of Malrang, and DRX are just taking objective after objective.
DRX looking for that tier 2 here in bottom. Larssen and Trymbi, they don't really have a whole lot to say about it, so there's more money in the pocket of DRX. 5,000 gold ahead. They've got the one Drake taken in the game so far. Everfrost towards Malrang there, but he's able to safeguard over the wall and stay away from that Sylas with that devastating Gnar ulti that you were talking about.
And DRX are just playing a beautiful game here, snowballing this game so well. Pressure through bot with the Caitlyn Lux. The only kind of pickup has been top lane. Pyosik in trouble now.
Pyosik may have been caught, but instead, it's the absolute artillery cannon of Deft and Beryl that turns it around and takes Malrang off the map.
Another kill going the way there. The first one now for Deft, getting further and further ahead. Zeka playing an incredible game. Pyosik going into this tank mythic. He knows his job is more the setup, more the support. Zeka on the bush here up top, but Rogue just don't have the confidence to try to look for the pick.
Rogue just feels so weak right now. Like, after that bot tower fell, you're sitting there and you're looking at this Rogue comp and you're like, what are you waiting for exactly? Right? Because there's just so much missing, it feels like, on the side of Rogue. They don't have a reliable way to start off fights. They have Poke on the side of LeBlanc and Ezreal, but in order to do that, you need to be set up around an objective, and you don't have any control. You don't have any push in top lane, you don't have any push in bot. And once again, we're just seeing Rogue fall short in the early game without any real answers or ways to come back in the mid game.
Yeah, it is tough, right? And they're clearly focusing all their vision up towards top, right up in this topside jungle. They have a lot of wards down there. DRX trying to move in to start to contest, but there is no vision for them down around the dragons. One thing at least working for Rogue is the fact that because it was such a late first dragon take, it's not like they're staring down the barrel of an early soul or anything like that. They have time. You can try to get towards Death Cap. You can try to get towards level 16 on LeBlanc and really get that poke online. Comp has also hit his big 2-item spike. Caitlyn, though, pushing towards IE, which is very, very scary. And we'll see if DRX can find a pick here.
Odoamne on the front, soaking up the bullets. Death firing him off. Gale Force in, Nedtech out, headshot goes through. Ace in the hole, blocked by Comp, but Odoamne now can't fight. That's your frontliner, that's your team fighter, that's your engage, and he's got to go back and heal. So DRX, off of some aggressive shooting there from Deft, they're going to get their first
player. Rogue's going to try to find it here. Odo almost has Mega Gnar. They're going.
They're ready to look for it, but Malrang's the one who's been found. DRX shut that down.
It's just clean from DRX. They don't even go for the 5v5. They're constantly looking for picks, and Rogue is giving it to them. DRX are so good at finding these windows of opportunity, and they found it.
Oh, there's the Mega Gnar ulti coming out from Zeka as Larssen stuck in the Hextech ultimatum, and Pyosik kills him next. Odoamne tries to get back with the flashback over the wall, but DRX get 4 more bodies.
DRX are running away with it. They are crushing through Rogue here. The kills are theirs. The Baron will be theirs as well. 23 minutes in. The DRX are crushing this game.
It's nothing but a stomp from the side of DRX. From start to finish, they have not given Rogue a single window. And it feels like that they have found the formula to shut this team down. A Baron is secured. A 9,000 gold lead is the difference between DRX and Rogue.
Zeka just laying in wait as soon as they come over the wall there. In he goes, Mega Gnar ult, Barrel's ulti over the top, and they just pile in kill after kill after kill here. They had already taken down Malrang to preempt the TP play. Rogue at the very least will steal away a dragon, and this should be a bounty, so they do get a bit of gold, but it is more than 8,000 in the lead. Now pick.
Larssen, nice. They pop the AD carry. They slow the War Machine, but now Larsen's got to be careful. It's Zeka waiting to go after him. Trying to get the E2, not going to find it. Kingen goes in. Nice to take him down. But now Trymbi's going to try to get away. Second E2 from Zeka, not going to find the target. Kingen still doing some DPS on the front line. Zeka goes in, and that time he gets his man. Pyosik still in hot pursuit, and Kingen has vengeance to exact. The game is over. The tie is broken, and DRX win the group.
Zeka goes off 9-0-3 on the Sylas. And DRX makes short work of Rogue. Not even 25 minutes into the game, the Nexus will fall.
やっぱメタリードが良かったのかな。強いキャラクターを他のチームよりも先に把握してた。ヨーロッパ。アジールを取ったり、マオカイを取ったり。特にアジールだね。他のチームたちはちょっとよう分かってなくて出遅れた感があって、リーグ2のヨーロッパボーカル。